Marketing Monday. My name is Natalie Armstrong-Motin with Marketing Resolution, ready to get our week started off right. Today, we're going to talk about how the right content strategy can help you raise your rates. All right, let's talk about it for a minute. Got my cup of hot chocolate. Please, no shade, no tea. Hot chocolate hits the spot today. Does it ever? All right. So one of the questions that I get a lot when I'm consulting with clients is about raising rates, changing rates, half day, full day, all of those kinds of questions. And so I think that a lot of us have some difficulty in charging what our expertise actually deserves. Raising your rates can be challenging. I get it, especially during sort of uncertain economic times. And as mediators and arbitrators, you might feel hesitant to increase your rates, worrying maybe that it could be seen as insensitive or that it might drive away some potential clients. But I think it's important to recognize that you deserve fair compensation for your valuable work. You have to ensure, as a business person, that you can charge a reasonable rate because not only is it essential for your livelihood, but also for the long-term sustainability of your practice. So, how do you go about raising your rates with confidence? Well, I think the answer lies in leveraging, to some degree, some really strong content marketing, a content strategy. Content is a really powerful tool that influences a lot of areas in your practice, including your pricing. And by positioning yourself as an expert and a thought leader in mediation or arbitration through your high quality content, you can justify the higher rates and attract the clients who value your particular expertise. Now, of course, before you raise your rates, I think it's always a good idea to do a little pricing analysis of the mediators and arbitrators that are either in your same geographical area or in your area of expertise. The market research that you do, you can do it on LinkedIn, you can use Google, find other mediators in your same area or your same expertise. But by doing this little bit of research in advance, you'll have a really good idea of the market rate so that you feel comfortable and confident with the raise that you give yourself, the raise that you deserve. So let's talk about the power of content in building your reputation. Before I go any further, if you're joining me live or on YouTube, please drop me a note in the comments, say hello in the chat, say who you are, what you're doing, what kind of practice you've got, or let me know if you have any questions or you need some more resources. So when it comes to setting your rates, I think perception plays the most crucial role. If you are seen as an expert in your field, clients are more likely to trust your services and be willing to pay a premium for those services. And content is a key factor in shaping this perception. By consistently producing educational, relevant, valuable content, you position yourself as the go-to professional in your area of mediation or arbitration or within your geographical area. So one thing to consider is when potential clients find answers to their questions on your blog, on your website, in your social media posts, they begin to see you as that trusted, credible authority. It could be anything that you think that your clients will find valuable. How to prepare for a successful mediation, the key differences between mediation and arbitration, the power of opening statements, those kinds of things. It could be news. It could be a lot of different things, but it needs to be of value, of benefit to your potential clients. And creating the right kind of content, it doesn't need to be super complex or in-depth to be really effective. Remember, your audience is likely not familiar with the way in which you conduct a mediation or arbitration. They might not even be familiar with the intricacies of each of those processes. If they are, and your primary target market are a much more sophisticated consumer of our kinds of services, then you can skip over those sort of basic pieces of information and go right to the more sophisticated content. But our clients, I think, are basically looking for clear, concise, and useful, applicable, actionable information, and focusing on addressing those concerns, those fears, those questions is really what we're looking to do. By focusing on the practical, the client-oriented kind of content that I'm talking about, you build your reputation as a knowledgeable and approachable expert. And this sort of increased visibility and credibility will make it much easier for you to raise your rates, because clients will see, they'll have proof that there is value in you, value in your services, and be more willing to pay for your expertise. So I've seen firsthand how well-crafted content strategy can lead to an increase in client demand. Mediators and arbitrators who consistently share valuable content report that new clients come from their consultations more prepared and more excited to work with them. These clients frequently are engaged with the neutrals content online and already see them as the best choice for their dispute resolution needs. So your content draws more clients to your practices. Your services naturally become more in demand. And as we know, higher demand can justify higher prices. So when clients perceive you as the top expert in your field, they expect that your rates reflect that level of expertise. So let's talk about implementing a rate increase strategy. When you are finally ready to raise your rates, consider implementing an annual or even a semi-annual increase. This approach not only keeps your fees in line with market trends, but it also motivates you to continue producing high-quality content and delivering excellent service. And both of those things are really necessary. So regularly scheduled rate increases give you the confidence that your pricing reflects the value that you provide to your clients. It also encourages you to continue to share targeted, high-quality content. Your clients then will become less likely to be resistant to any increase that you give yourself. And in fact, they may even see it as a sign of your continued growth and success as a neutral. So raising your rates, maintaining a strong content strategy, they go hand in hand. And as you increase your rates, your content continues to reinforce your reputation as a top-tier professional. Clients often expect that the best mediators and the best arbitrators charge more for their services, and they may even become wary of your services if your rates seem too low for the level of expertise that you offer. I know it's a fine line, but there is that butter zone where it's just right. But I've also seen solo mediators and small arbitration practices successfully charge rates across a wide spectrum, from modest fees to premium prices. So you don't need to be at the top of that spectrum to succeed, but you should charge rates that reflect your experience and the quality of the service that you provide. So don't undersell yourself or be swayed by the notion that only big firms can charge high fees. I think that with the right content strategy, you can command the rates that you deserve. So invest in your practice, invest in yourself, invest in your marketing. It's about building a brand. It's about enhancing your reputation and positioning yourself to charge rates that reflect your true worth. And again, by consistently producing valuable content that educates and engages your potential clients, you can elevate your practice and then really confidently raise your rates. If you need any help with any of this, of course, reach out at any time. Let me know what I can do to help you develop the right kind of pricing strategy. That's it for me on Marketing Monday. I appreciate you joining me and watching this video. I hope that your week is started off right. Take care of yourself. Be good humans. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.